If you're into ancient history, magic, future technology, ancient technology, spirituality, metaphysics, you must listen to this. So not a lot of people know about Sumeria and the secrets and the mystery of creation myths that lie in Sumerian mythology. And I found this guy's blog. It's called The God Enki in the Ocean of Everyone. That is literal magic genius. It literally describes how in the past things were created and manifested into reality. And this is something we can actually harness in our everyday lives now. And I'm gonna explain how. And it's gonna take a whole rewiring of your brain. Danica, be quiet. Sorry, my dog. First things first, we're gonna call God consciousness, and we're gonna call everyone the plasma field, or you can call it the field of energy, ki, chi, 0-point energy, whatever you want. This guy starts out by saying something brilliant. It wasn't in the beginning God created. It was the God started by creating. So consciousness started by creating. And what did it use? The clay of plasma, the fourth state of matter, the magic. So this guy basically talks in this blog about how he bought this ancient book about Sumeria. And unlike ancient Egypt, which was more like heady, kind of like Greece, where they write a lot and they say a lot, this was more about, the Sumerians were more about experiential, childlike play, paradox, something that you really couldn't touch, but you had to experience. He talks about how Sumeria was all about improvisation, invention, direct manifestation. You just had an idea and it became a physical reality, which we are totally capable of doing, but we have doubts and worries. Something was becoming constantly fresh and new out of this land of everyone. So there's this Sumerian city where people would gather on the banks of Apsu, gather on the banks of Apsu, which was a freshwater lake, identified with the primeval abyss from which the world sprang, the cosmic ocean, plasma, energy, everyone. And from this sweet fresh water, these people spoke of something deeper, a limitless potentiality, permission to play, reinterpreting things, new realities from the world of the mind or consciousness. Basically, it's kind of like Alice in Wonderland going down the tunnel or the wormhole into an upside down reality. It's literally flipping your perspective. When we look at things from other angles, we start to create new and fresh ideas that have never been before, like what inventors do all the time. And where do they get their ideas? Mostly dreams, which is everyone. So the Sumerians, or what he calls the ancient Mesopotamians, understood the concepts of being, becoming, matter, and mind just as much, if not more, than the Greeks and Egyptians. This is why I love Inanna over Isis, because I feel like Inanna was the original divine feminine, and I'm sure there was many before her too. So through rituals like the ceremony of the tree, the opening of the mouth of a god, they experientially explored these symbols and rituals, not just in writing. And he said, this is how to make a god. God is creation. God is us. God is plasma mixed with consciousness. It's the self. It's the divine. There is as above, so below. There's a God up there. Yes, the divine. And then there's a God in here, us. Danica, please. And all our creations are little mini gods. And the cup overflowing with endless streams of fresh water are these ideas, is the plasma and consciousness mixed together. Or everyone and Enki, I guess. And symbols were gateways between the world of mind and the world of material reality. They were an in-between. This is where creation would stir and come about. Just like Hermes, the interdimensional traveler, they would traverse between this land of everyone and the 3D reality and bring their ideas into reality just like that. That's at least what he says. This is why I connect Enki with consciousness. He was the lord of intelligence, knowledge, the keeper of arts and crafts, also called the shaper. And what do you shape? Clay or plasma or sentience. So consciousness or your intention is always shaping this clay, this plasma, to create and manifest in the 3D world. It's as simple as you think of a friend and they call. It's as simple as you get a blue car and you start seeing them everywhere. You might call it synchronicity or the simulation. We call it, the Sumerians call it the idea of becoming material reality in a second. Enki dwelled in the depths of the mind. Consciousness is in the depths of the mind, far from the ego. A part of the ego as well. But there's two different kinds. Okay. It says from his hidden house in the waters, the primordial waters, the plasma. I'm obsessed with plasma, you know this by now. Enki consciousness monitors the flow of all information, the field of information, plasma, guys, into the world, Earth, the material world. He guards new ideas, new little plasmas. They're called me's, I think, until they're ready to be born. He's not a trickster, because that's what plasma is, but he's playful and inspires playfulness. He can inspire the woman. That's why when us women are in love, we do feel inspired. Same with men. Oh, here we go. He's the custodian of the me, which is untranslatable. They were explained as fundamental, unalterable, comprehensive assortment of powers and duties. I guess kind of like laws, maybe, of the material world that was brought in by consciousness through plasma. There's actually an amazing story about Inanna and Enki. And if you've seen my video on Inanna, I equate her to plasma, Mary Magdalene, Kali, creation and destruction. So in Inanna and Enki, the goddess Inanna, or plasma, or everyone, I hope you're getting it by now, gets consciousness, Enki drunk, and steals the me, which is what consciousness is keeping. Basically, she goes wild, the wild feminine, and she takes them on her boat of heaven, braving the 7 attacks by sea monsters, or the 7 chakras, down into the cities of Eridu and Uruk, where people unload them and have jubilation and feasting. This is basically the wild feminine gone wild. And it's bringing she brought the creations, or these laws, to Earth in their wild state, which is probably why we're all a bit cray-cray. To me, it kind of means that there was like a ruling of the divine feminine, and now we had the divine, well, not the divine masculine, but we had patriarchy for the last whatever years. I think that was in response to matriarchy being cray-cray and too wild. And it's good to be wild, but there needs to be a balance of the masculine and feminine. I think we are coming into now in the age of Aquarius. That's besides the point, but I think I translate that into that. My neurodivergent mind. But when we're balanced and we can use consciousness and plasma, or Inanna and Enki, we can harness these laws for the good of creation and humanity and create beautiful things. And you know, when you're in flow, you do manifest shit. It happens. Like, you say you need something and it comes. For instance, this is so human of me, but I said that I wanted to date a firefighter, and then on this dating app I was on, I saw only firefighters. And I know it's probably because my phone is listening to me, but as above, so below. What our phone is doing is just like what the universe can do. You say it, it happens. Another example, I was talking about the show Love Island, another very 3D thing of me. And I kid you not, an hour later, asked my friend, we went to In-N-Out, and I saw 2 girls. All right, I don't know if I cut off. And I saw 2 girls from Love Island in In-N-Out. Please. That's what we're talking about here. Bringing it into this reality now. Bringing it into modern In-N-Out Love Island talk. Okay, this person who wrote this is so smart. But basically, just like the me, it's hard for us to comprehend that a symbol or a scepter does not symbolize kingship. It just was kingship. A statue that symbolized Enki was, with his mouth open, was Enki, and there could be many Enkis because it would be in the wormhole of the symbol, if that makes sense. Like, he is in the eternal ocean, the eternal plasma. We are everywhere, guys. We are one. We're also individuals. But so the me was the border between reality and the mind. It was this in-between, this unmaterialized potential. And that is in our everyday lives now. It's hard to put a word to it, but when we want something and it hasn't happened yet, it's in that state. But it could happen like that if we weren't like in the mindset that it hasn't happened yet. You see where I'm going with this? There's like a whole new state of mind thinking this way. There's literally no reason to worry. And the reason I don't think that happens is because I don't think we're like evolved enough as a species to like, if we want something that happens right away, some pretty crazy shit will happen. So we have to first like heal ourselves and be responsible with this basically plasma magic. So anyway, that's that. Basically what I just told you is the language of plasma, and I'm writing about it in my new book coming out next year, I hope. You can go to the link in my bio, my Stan store, to sign up if you love plasma intelligence, want to hear more about this, if this speaks to you. I think this is where the future is coming from. Plasma's the future, guys. You can call it whatever you want, okay? A new way of thinking is coming, and it is fun and childlike and pure and playful and magical. Bye.